This is for sure the best camera system I ever tested. Not only the main unit has a radio monitor, but the cameras are incredibly high resolution, they have a floodlight on it and two-way communication. So let's definitely open it and test it out. I've used this brand before and I know that they are very reliable. Now this is one of the top of the range one that this brand produces. Inside the box we have information and instructions about the cameras and how to set it up. User manual. Now in this box I think we have all the fittings for the cameras, cables and whatever we need. Boosting aerial. There is even a mouse included. And these are probably all the chargers, that's correct, for all the cameras. We also have a couple of stickers warning people that there is a CCTV camera in place. Now this is what I'm very excited about it, because these cameras, not only they are 1920 by 1080p with a 2 megapixel sensor, so they're incredibly high resolution. But as you can see, they also have a sensor to spot movements, floodlights on the side, so even during the night they will be able to illuminate the area and record in colors even during the night. And they also have a two-way conversation system, so there is probably where the speaker is located, and there will be a microphone somewhere, I assume, on the front. So it will be possible even, there we go, it will be possible even to have, in some respect, a conversation, or for example shouting at people if you spot them somewhere in the garden or climbing a fence or whatever. Or if you put it on the outside of the house, you can potentially talk to the postman, or you can simply just warn someone that is in the garden just to come for dinner or whatever. So very excited about those. We'll go through the box and then we'll test everything later on. But as you can see, there are all the cameras. This is a radio monitor, and as you can see, it is actually a very decent sized monitor, so it's possible to see things very clearly, I assume, from it. It doesn't come with an hard drive, and I'm actually quite pleased about it. I mean, this brand, Yeskamo, has used pretty decent hard drives in the past. I've tried already other camera systems from them. The hard drives are generally very high quality. However, because this is one of the top of the range system, I would like to put one of the leading edge hard drives specifically designed for CCTV camera system. There are quite a few around at the moment. They are not very expensive, and I strongly suggest you to put a specific hard drive for CCTV cameras because it lasts much longer. They are specifically designed to work in a system that is constantly recording. Before we turn everything on, I'd like to give you a couple of information. Firstly, about the monitor. A couple of USB, the network, and an HDMI exit. This is the space for a 3.5 inches hard drive, so there is plenty of space. And these are the power and the SATA cable, or anyway the two cables that are used for the hard drive. Couple of other things that I find very important. In the bag with all the bits and pieces for the cameras, there are all attachments to make the cable nice and secure and waterproof. There is even a little screwdriver and a SIM card too. I think is actually used for the cameras, because in there you can actually fit a TF card. Again, let's open it up and let's have a look. It's not something that I will do even in this case. Personally, there is no need if you're using this system, because it's much safer from my point of view to have everything going into the main unit and putting a TF card inside. But there we go, a couple of little screws, and as you can see from the camera underneath, you got a TF card slot over there. Talking about the camera, the front part is metal. The construction seems to be very good. The bottom and the attachment are hard plastic, and the middle part metal again. The attachment for the aerial is over there. We have a normal standard aerial there, and also included in the package there is a very high gain aerial, so if the camera is very far away from the main unit, that is potentially the one to use. With regards of power, comes over here. Now there are two different type of chargers inside the box. The single and larger one is the one, of course, for the main unit, for the monitor. The four smaller ones are the one for the camera. And also, just to prove the quality, of this product. Inside there is also a power extension cable inside the box. Again, the connections are the same for all of the adapters, but in case you will need an extra extension, is already provided. On the extra extension point of view, each adapter for the camera is about 2 meters long, actually just over 2 meters long, so there is plenty of cable, and again, from my point of view, it shows the quality of the system because you can put the camera quite far away from the power. Adjusting the camera, very easy. You just unscrew the nut at the bottom over there, so once it's attached to the wall, you move it whichever position you want it, and then once you're happy, you screw it back up and it keeps the camera strongly in position. It's even easier if I do it the right way, but that's fine. There you go. Once it's in position, then it stays nice and firmly there. Front part, you got the array of all the important bits and pieces we mentioned before. 2 megapixel camera over there, so very high quality. Infrared and LED lights to use it as a floodlight and everything else. The microphone is there. Speaker, we said before, at the bottom, so you can have a two-way conversation of it. Fully dedicated sensor there to spot the movement. So all is left now is to power on the system. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to power it on in front of you guys, and then I'm going to run away, turn on the cameras. There are 3 that are set all throughout the house in some of the furthest away places, and then hopefully you will see them coming on before I do. Give me a second. Wow, okay. So as you can see, I placed the cameras quite far away. We can split the screen into 4 views at the moment. Anyway, one of the cameras is detached, the other one are there. Quality seems to be stunning, considering that all the cameras are inside. You can actually see that this one was through an open window. All the others are actually inside the house, but you can see the quality of it. Going through the system, there are a lot of options there. Last thing that I want to do is trying to attach it to my mobile phone. Just to show you, there is a very comprehensive way to do it, and it's all explained very nicely actually on this quick user guide. So I just follow the steps. I've downloaded, well, initially downloaded the Yeskamo app. I thought they were asking me for my mobile phone number, which I didn't particularly want to do. Then I started trying with the IP Pro, and it came up exactly the same way. Quick tip, if you remove the 2 numbers, then it comes up as asking for the phone number. They will ask you for an email address, which I much prefer. It's asking me if I want to add a standalone camera or a kit. I press kit, then it tells me to do it manually, so add manually, press on the cloud ID, and now by using the mouse and the system, if I go on, I think it was fast network, there you go, you have an ID there, so let's scan the cloud ID over there, there we go. There we go. So those are our 4 cameras. Love it. Yes, one we perfectly know that is not attached, still over there at the moment. But as you can see, those are exactly the 4 cameras that we have on the computer as well. This is the intercom system. So I'm just going to talk to the camera. I'll leave you the phone over here. And we run a little test just to make sure it works. Now in front of the camera, that's my hand at the moment. I just wonder if you guys can hear me. So, and in the same way that I tried earlier on to test the microphone from the camera, I'm now going to try the speaker. So I'm just going to move away and send a signal through it. Testing the system, 1 2 1 2. There is a fair distance from where I am at the moment. I hope it works. The other thing that I can test is potentially the Siren. Okay, so when it spots certain type of movements on the front, it also sends a siren signal through the camera, something that we can of course stop if we want to. I left a single camera attached for the moment. I want to test it tonight when it's dark, but I want to show you something else. As you can see over there, it's just a normal television. I connected the HDMI to this camera system. And let's put it onto the HDMI, and you will see the exact copy of the camera over there. And of course you can do the same when you have multi-cameras and everything else. There we go. And again, because the cameras are so high resolution, even on a screen that is 32 inches, the clarity, the
picture quality is incredible. If you choose the zoom in option, wherever you point the mouse, then you can zoom in and you can potentially emphasize certain areas. I strongly suggest you guys, when you get this system, go through the manual. The manual is very well written and there are so many different options that you can choose. One, for example, that I did find incredibly useful, the display resolution was lower. I did increase it because that is a full 1080p television. A few other things that are very useful, for example, on the channel setup, or even better, on the video detection. Earlier on, we heard that by moving my hand in front of the camera, there is a siren going off, which is totally fine if you are using it for security reasons, for example, in the garden. But if you want to disable it, if, for example, you want to use it for the postman when he arrives and you want to put it on the outside of the house, you might want to disable that. So if you go on video detection, you have an array of options there. IPC alarm was exactly that buzzer, so by simply either selecting it or remove the selection and pressing apply, it will remove the buzzer from the camera. Of course, make sure you're on the right channel. And this is the night view. The camera, as I said before, is not in the best possible position. It's quite far away from the garden, it's also behind the window, so there is quite a lot of reflection onto the lens. But as you can see, the picture is very clear. And what I'm going to attempt doing now, I'm going to go downstairs, walk in the garden and see if the camera picks me up. In part I would be surprised if the lights do come on, because there is a fair distance, but one way to find out. So stay here and yeah, I'll go for a wander. Guys, I hope you saw that. In some respect it worked even better than I expected. The light did come on, even if I was quite far away. And definitely from downstairs, it is quite a strong and bright light, so definitely works pretty well as a deterrent as well. As soon as I stopped moving, as soon as I came back in, the infrared light have come back again, so that's fine, I still have picture. So really like also how it works during the night. So now that we tried the system for a while, a few considerations. Firstly, the negative. The app, to be honest, is a bit basic. It works. It's nice to see the camera wherever you are in the world, so safety wise works okay. With regards of the functionality, it is a bit choppy. It's not that easy sometimes to work around, and in the meantime it's a bit basic, but it's fine, it does the job. I would suggest potentially updating or upgrading the app. I might even try a couple of the other apps to see if they are any better, but I think they might be pretty much similar. With regards to the positive though, the main unit over here, stunning. It works very well, the quality of the picture is good. We speak about the quality of the sensor in the camera in a second, but overall this unit works very, very well. The option to put a 3.5 inches proper hard drive is fantastic, because then, as I mentioned before, I will put a proper CCTV camera hard drive. Double aerial, the connection works well. One thing that I didn't mention before, you have an audio out option there as well. So if you attach a little speaker, whatever you can hear through the camera, you can actually hear it through the screen, which is very good. The mouse is a bit basic, but it's fine, it works fine for the unit. Cameras, stunning. Really like these cameras. I have to say, I would have to say, as a non-professional system, these are probably some of the best that I've used. The quality of the picture is very, very good. Having the option of a dedicated sensor with regards to the movement, 2 megapixel cameras, floodlights, infrared, everything works fine. The two-way system is fine. There is a bit of lag, well, about a second or two lag with regards of the message sent and received. The speaker is not the loudest of the speakers, but it can be heard reasonably clearly, same with the microphone. So for a function like putting it on the front door for when the postman arrives and giving some basic instruction works fine. And again, even the siren, works okay. It's not the loudest, but it's absolutely fine on those occasions where potentially during the night spots of movement can definitely be heard, and will definitely scare people off. So overall, I have to say the system is brilliant for the price. Also, I appreciate it's not the cheapest, but it's still on a bracket that is very, very affordable for everything that is given. And again, I don't need to bother finding a monitor, finding a unit and everything else. This can be moved around quite easily, and everything is there already. And of course, you can also add further cameras. At the moment we just have 4 cameras, but this unit can take up to 8 cameras on it. So top quality on that.